trace and write down all the values that would be displayed on this script. So let's look right through here. So to make this easier, we're going to write out every single output, and then we're going to delete whichever is suppressed, correct? So whenever we see a semicolon, that's not going to be displayed, and when there's no semicolon, it will be displayed. So let's write out everything, and then we're going to delete whatever we don't see. So the first thing we have is a equals -4, and we have b is equal to 0. And it says while b minus a is greater than 0.5. Let's do b minus a. 0 minus 4 is 4, so that's greater than 0.5, so we can move on. C equals a plus b over 2. So c is equal to a plus b. So that's -4 divided by 2, that's -2. Then we'll do fa is function of a. So it looks like we have a function over here called func. So fa would equal a. We have to use a in the function. So when we use a as the function, we have a times a plus 2. So that's -4 cubed plus 2, so that's -62. And we'll do fc. And we got func c, so we put a value of c, -2, cubed essentially, plus 2. So that's -6. So it says if fa times fc is less than 0. So let's see. We have a negative number and a negative number. If you multiply them together, it's a positive number, so it's not less than 0. So this is not what we do. Else a is equal to c. So since it's positive, we're going to do this part. A is equal to c. So our new a value is our old c value, which is -2, and end. Now we go back again and check our condition. B minus a is greater than 0.5. Our old b, which is still the same, 0 minus -2, that's positive 2. That's greater than 0.5. So we can move on. C is equal to a plus b over 2. So a plus basically 0. So you got -2 plus 0 over 2. That's -1. And then we're going to do fa. So fa is equal to -2 cubed plus 2. That's -6. fc is equal to -1 cubed plus 2. That's +1. Now, if fa times fc is less than 0, we multiply these together. That is a negative times a positive. That's a negative number, so we're going to do b equals c. So b is our new c value, which is -1. Now, that ends. We go again. B minus a greater than 0.5. So we got -1 minus -2. That's +1. So we can move on. So c equals a plus b over 2. So c is a plus b, so that's -3 divided by 2, that's -1.5. Do fa is equal to func a, so we have our a value, -2 cubed plus 2, so that's -6. fc is going to be equal to -1.5 cubed, and if we calculate that, and then it's -3.375 plus 2, so if we do that, we get -1.375. So that is a negative number. So when we multiply these two together, because of fa times fc, we get a positive number. So we move on to here. A equals c. So a equals our new c, which is -1.5, right? Because we have -1.5. Then we go back. B minus a greater than 0.5. So our b, -1 minus -1.5. So that's +1.5 right here. So -1 plus 1.5, that's 0.5. So 0.5 is not greater than 0.5. So now we end our while loops. No longer our while loop is going on. And we see c equals a plus b over 2. So we say c is equal to a plus b. So -1.5 plus -1. So that's -2.5 divided by 2. So that's -1.25. And then that's it. That's the end of the function. So now let's see what we suppressed. So this is suppressed, this is suppressed. We don't have to say these. Then C is not suppressed. So that's this. We keep this. Oops. We keep this. And then we say FA and FC's suppressed. So any FA's and FC's that we see are always suppressed. So we don't have to write these down. And then whenever we change our B value and A value, we don't have to write those down. So whenever we change our B value and A value, we do not have to write those down. So the only thing that we'd see is C equals -2. And then we have C equals -1. And then C is equal to -1.5. And then we see our final value, which is C is equal to -1.25. And that is how you do number 11.